As he may have been the man in charge of the Tumon precinct in 2007 through late 2008, but he says he had no knowledge of any of his officers' involvement in the Blue House brothel, or even the raid that uncovered human trafficking and prostitution. 3 of his officers who were assigned to the Tumon precinct at that time are being held behind bars accused of frequenting the establishment, having sex with the workers, and threatening to arrest them if they did not comply with the owner, Songja Cha. 2 of the officers also faced charges for alleged criminal sexual conduct. It wasn't until January 13, 2008, when one of the workers sought help from the wife of a police officer to get her passport back from Cha, when the police department uncovered what was really happening at the Blue House.
Was I involved in this raid, or did I have knowledge of it? No, I didn't. I was not involved in the raid or part of the investigation conducted by the Criminal Investigation Division, which took the lead of this investigation back in 2008. And they were coordinating with their information and their investigation with the Guam Office of the Attorney General at the time.
Current U.S. Attorney Alicia Limtiaco was in charge of the Attorney General's office at the time of the raid. Chief Bordallo was the precinct commander, but says any and all information bypassed him.
Criminal Investigations Division, because they're doing that investigation, didn't brief me or provide me any information at that time of their investigation. Again, their investigation was coordinated with the Guam Office of the Attorney General's office.
As the top brass now, Bordallo receives regular updates on the ongoing police investigation that was ordered by Governor Eddie Calvo.
Had you had any knowledge of these officers going to this establishment?
No. There was no knowledge of any of those officers going to this establishment. At the time, the scope is on those the females and the main boss of the Blue House Lounge. There was no officers that came under the scope of an investigation, according to
the trial.
Yeah, and not at least until that came up in 2011, the trial.
It was during the trial that 2 of the workers testified that officers Tony and Mario would frequent the bar and that Cha would call her friends, the police, and have them arrested if they did not make the customers happy by performing sexually or comply with her orders. It's alleged that the officers, sometimes in uniform, would go to the establishment for police service calls. It's unclear whether actual calls were made to 911 or whether the owners simply called the officers personally to seek their assistance. Bordallo says his special task force will not leave any stone unturned.
We're looking at, are there potentially other officers involved? We're looking at the assignment of where these officers were at.
The officers, meanwhile, are expected to find out whether they will be released from jail on Friday. Manila, Kenga, and Laksamana have requested to be released on their own personal recognizance or be placed on house arrest to a third-party custodian. Cha is also scheduled to answer to the charges handed down in the superseding indictment on Friday with a Korean interpreter.